Hey y'all, this episode of Unsweet Tea from Tennessee is about a stalker, and this occurred around 2021, something like that. Now, the setting of this story takes place when I was an employee at a Christian craft store. Let's call it Shabby Slobby. But every Monday at Shabby Slobby was known as our truck day, and we had to go put inventory up. So all of us had our own little designated sections. The floral people would go put floral stuff up, art people would be in the art section, so on and so forth. Well, I was in the kids' crafts, and this was every Monday, okay? Now, the first time I had noticed this man, he was acting very strangely in the kids' crafts, and I mean, he was doing things like very closely examining the container of children's $1 chalk or reading the labels of crayons, being very strange. He was also moving very quickly in and out of the aisles. So for us, typically that means that it's a thief, and our protocols were to follow them and quote-unquote kill them with kindness and just be like, hey, can I help you find anything? You know, we have stuff that matches that or whatever. Just try to crawl up their butts to try to scare them away from stealing. Side note, this man was very nicely dressed, and he did not appear to look like a typical thief. Typical thieves have like pink and purple hair. They look like they're on meth. Well, he looked very sober and he looked very normal. So anyway, this man was acting so strangely that I started to get behind on my work, and I had to take it to management and say, hey, there's a thief over here in the kids' crafts. Can y'all follow him? I'm not getting anything done. So I'll go back to working. While I'm working on some stuff, I drop like a bag of beads or sand or something, have to take it over to the frame shop to repair the bag, okay? So while I'm back there, I hear over the pager, Corey, can you come to fabric table, please? Come to fabric. And I'm like, why do you want me in fabric? I don't work in fabric. So I'll go over there anyway. One of the managers is waiting for me, and she's like, hey, sweetie, can you go to the break room and hurry and lock the door behind you? I'm like, okay, what, does that mean we're getting robbed? Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll go right now. All right, fine. So I'm in the break room just kind of chilling, and then the other manager pops her head in and just looks at me. She's like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, what's going on? And she said, well, we were following that dude that you said to follow. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what did he steal? What's he doing? They were like, well, honey, I think he's trying to steal you. So of course I was like, Brittany, what you mean? And she was like, well, we watched him on camera, honey. He has been following you all over kids' crafts. He followed you all over the building. We watched you on camera drop that bag of beads, and then when you went to the frame shop to repair it, he followed your behind all the way to the frame shop. And then just to test the waters, we paged you over to fabric, and then we watched him also follow you all the way to fabric, so he knows your name. Side note, they forgot to give me a name tag, so I have never had a name tag, so I don't know how he knows my name either. I don't even have a normal spelling of my name. Just saying. So then that same manager decides to go and talk to him and ask him the same questions. Can I help you find anything because you're acting kind of lost? So of course she continued to follow him. That pissed him off, and he finally left. This is day one, okay? This continued on every Monday from about 12 noon to 2 p.m. every Monday for close to a year. As time went on, he showed up like clockwork, and of course my little Mercurian smartass has to make it a game and mess with him. So he comes in one of the Mondays, he's obviously looking for me, so I'll walk my butt over to the unfinished wood aisle. Here his goofy ass is. So I decide to go shimmy over to the crayon aisle. Here his goofy ass is again. So I'm a smart ass, so I gotta walk back over to the unfinished wood aisle. And then I catch him again, and I like to assert dominance, so I was just like, hi, how are you? What are you looking for today? And he was like, nothing, just browsing. And I was like, of course you are. I'm giving him an attitude. Walk my butt back over to the crayons. Here he is again in the crayons. I got my arms full of crayons. I walk back over to the unfinished wood aisle. There he is again. I threw all of the crayons in my arms on the floor and just look at him. Like, what? And when I tell you, this is already like, we're on like month 5 or 6 of him doing this. Okay. Management comes out again and gets so close to him that she can probably smell his breath. And she's a big old gal. She plays softball. She's probably like 6 foot tall, I'm just saying. So she's got her arms folded and just looking at him. Can I help you find anything? He's like, no, I'm just looking. She's like, I don't think you're looking for anything. He's like, I'm just browsing. And she's like, okay, well, you seem like you're lost. So she just stays on his tail, pisses him off, and he leaves. So manager Brittany then follows this man out to his car, gets a picture of his license plate, and he's trying to back up, and she's just standing behind his car taking a picture of his license plate. Of course, he doesn't say a damn thing because he's guilty. Even after that, the man skips a Monday and brings his boo-honey back to Shabby Slobby, okay? And then does it again. He comes back again to my section, and I had to sass him, and then I said, are you even shopping for anything, bro? And then he pulls his little masky thing off and he goes, yes, ma'am, just browsing. So the bigwigs finally came in, we brought it to their attention, and they did finally say, yes, file a police report, and so I did. So the cops were not supposed to give me his whole entire government name, but of course they did. So me and my work mom, we found him on Facebook. He just happens to be a preacher on the Milligan Highway. It ain't talking shit if it's true. And for everybody that's going to ask me, why didn't you go to the police immediately? Well, the bigwigs did contact the police immediately, and what we were told is that because he has not threatened her and he has not touched her, just because he's being weird, he's technically in a public place and we can't do anything. Time goes on, he comes back again, and then when he leaves the building, my work dad goes and follows him out to the parking lot, and he sees this man driving really slow past employee parking. So this persisted. Later on towards the end of the year, I start talking to this dude, and he's like, okay, I want to see who he is, what's going on. So he comes into my job, sees the guy come up in there, and we like come up with a plan. He's like, okay, well, let me just follow him and see if he really is coming in here just to use the bathroom. Does he have a reason? Does he return back to work nearby? Let's see what he's doing. Side note, the stalker man appears to be about maybe 6'4", much larger than just big boned, okay, and the little boy I'm talking to is not as large. So the guy I'm talking to at this point in time, let's name him Gordon. Gordon then starts following the stalker guy. He's supposed to just follow him and see if he returns to his job, but he followed him all the way to Elizabethton, Tennessee, to his house, pulls in his driveway to confront the man. He walks up to the guy's car door, knocks on the window, and is like, yo, what the F is your problem? Why are you following girls around at their job at Shabby Slobby? What are you doing? And the guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not following no girl. I'm a man of God. You need to leave me alone. So, of course, Gordon is like, get out the car. Get out the car. And the guy's like, I'm not getting out the car. I don't need to talk to you. So Gordon then flicks a cigarette in his face and is like, I know where you live. I don't want to catch you back at that girl's job ever again. Then pulls out backwards so he couldn't see his license plate and leaves. Y'all, when I tell you, even after that interaction, this man brought his behind back to my job. Like, you'd think he'd be so embarrassed, but I saw him again. When he comes back again, I start taking, like, selfie videos with him in the background just to show how closely he was following me. And then after the fact, he even tried to get me in trouble. He called management and was like, oh, there's a girl there that sent some guy to follow me to my house and assault me with a cigarette. And of course, management already knows what's up. So they're like, what girl? What are you talking about? And he starts telling on himself and is like, I ain't following that girl around, and the only reason I came into Shabby Slobby to begin with is just to use the bathroom because I have IBS. And they were like, that's none of our business. And they were like, was it a Shabby Slobby employee that followed you to your house? And he's like, well, no. And then the management was like, well, maybe that's a police problem and not our problem. Good luck. Over the course of that year, management, of course, let me see the surveillance video so I could verify if that was him or not. So I took a picture, then printed off a screenshot of the picture at Walgreens so I could use it for some work. I took the photograph of this man. I took some gunpowder. I went on somebody's concrete porch so I could set something on fire. Got barefooted. I took the gunpowder and I made a big plus sign, essentially. And then I put the picture of this man with his whole government name written on the back of the picture. I set that in the middle of the giant plus sign. I opened up with a couple of the Lord's Prayer, Psalm 20, and then finished it off with Psalm 35. Let him be as chaff before the wind. And then I set the ends of this plus sign on fire because it is gunpowder, so it all caught on fire, caught his picture on fire, and then when it all turned to dust, I just blew it away and blew it out of my path, and I never saw this man again. Save this and take that and use it as needed. Good luck and stay safe, y'all.